And what's inspired me to think this way is lots of different stuff, but I'm reading a great book right now called The End of Overeating. And what they're sharing, the insights they're sharing, is that the food industry, like all industries, is interested in growing. And what they've been able to do is uncover some insights about the use of different foods and combinations to create foods that are hyper palatable, which to you just sounds like, hey, the food tastes really great. But in addition to tasting great, they're using different elements, nothing sinister, but to layer in different tastes and textures that make it so easy for us to consume tremendous amounts of calories. And they've also found ways to use these foods to tap into what are the opioid centers of the brain. So we're releasing these chemicals that is much like a drug. And so we're becoming addicted to this sensation, that this is not some individualistic choice that you're having. In many ways, you're being manipulated. Over the last 20 to 25 years, the obesity in America has skyrocketed, not because your tastes have changed, but because we are, as a society, being manipulated by the food industry to consume more than we really want. Because a lot of the times, the actions that we want to take, or the outcomes that we want to create, are undermined by our habitual actions. And so what we must do is become much more conscious of that which we're doing habitually. So there's lots of different ways that we can get in shape, but it seems because there are so many different approaches that so many people don't really know where to get started. And so what Fitness Presence is a program that took all the principles of exercise and really condensed them down in strength, flexibility, cardiovascular fitness, body leanness, balance, coordination, proprioception, even mental focus and spiritual alignment into a brief 12 to 15 minute exercise program that you can do a couple of times a week and ensure you're addressing all of those different areas. So that because it's comprehensive, it really elevates the total level of fitness to something that most people have never experienced before in far less time than they've ever invested before. That's one of the really big benefits. Strength, flexibility, cardiovascular fitness, body leanness, balance, coordination, proprioception, even mental focus and spiritual alignment into a brief 12 to 15 minute exercise program that you can do a couple of times a week and ensure you're addressing all of those different areas. So that because it's comprehensive, it really elevates the total level of fitness to something that most people have never experienced before in far less time than they've ever invested before. That's one of the really big benefits. One of the big differences is the amount of time that you have to invest. If you look at P90X, it's an hour to a 75-minute exercise program they encourage you to do on a daily basis to, as rapidly as possible, optimize your fitness. And by as rapidly as possible, I mean as far as time goes. So you get a 90-day period of time, you're going to optimize your fitness. It offers a lot of variety, which is also really good in that they have different discs to achieve different things. Because of the way they're structured, it's a daily exercise regimen, and it takes a fair amount of time, and it introduces some elements that over time a lot of people that are in my age bracket, I'm 48, find cause an injury. And so what we've done instead is we've brought all the elements of fitness together in one exercise program rather than having it in 10 different elements, exercise programs. And we've condensed down the time, recognizing that if you exercise effectively, you don't have to spend that amount of time in order to get the benefit. That I got inspired when the healthcare debate was going on. And when we were talking about the healthcare debate, what I recognized is that we're spending a tremendous amount of money as a country and individually to really not get great health. And while I was involved in this debate and I was talking about proactivity and health and all that stuff, I was exercising. I also recognized that I had allowed myself over time to go from someone who's in pretty good shape to someone who thought they were in pretty good shape, but actually, based on my size, I'd become like right borderline obese. And so I was right there involved with this same thing everybody else was. 30% of our population is obese, and here I was, making noise, being one of those people. And I had known a ton about exercise forever because I worked in the fitness industry, and so it wasn't lack of knowledge, but based on the busyness of my life and the things that I had going on, I guess I had just periodically been inconsistent. Even though I'd say I exercised always throughout my life, there'd be periods of time where I'd give back a certain level of fitness because I'd miss a month here or I'd miss some time here. And what I wanted to do is create an exercise program that would fit into everybody's lifestyle. Why I feel this is so worthwhile sharing is because of the incredible transformation it has had on my life. I had a hypothesis at the beginning, and the hypothesis was that if we brought all the elements of fitness together into a comprehensive program and distilled them down to their principal elements, that I could get great results and that people could achieve great results in fitness. It's no longer a hypothesis. Over the last 10 months, as a 48-year-old male, I've gone from being like borderline obese to essentially being my ideal weight. In addition to that, I've also really recaptured the same level of fitness I had when I was 25. And we were at a friend's house and we were playing like one of these match game parties. And I remember the question came up. It's like, what's one thing you wish your husband would stop doing that he does? And my wife says, I wish you would stop talking about losing weight. But at the beginning, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing 5-minute routines on a daily basis, 5-6 days a week. So you're 25 to 30 minutes a week, little 5-minute increments, building the habits up, assimilating the exercise into your life, getting some stability, some muscular endurance, a little neuromuscular coordination. But the big result at the beginning is really making it a habit. As you graduate from there and you really become, achieving optimal levels of fitness, what we do instead of having a daily exercise, we give you time to recover, because that's one of the areas that a lot of people skip with their exercise program. They stress the body, but they don't give it time to recover. So here, we're exercising twice a week, the routine 12 to maybe at the most 15 minutes per session. So again, 25 to 30 minutes on a weekly basis, and it covers absolutely everything. Regardless of how fit you'd like to become, you can get it done in less than half an hour a week. So our level of fitness is really like how well can we engage and recover. And that's physically and every other aspect of our lives. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, every aspect of our fitness. And so the Fitness Presence program addresses that. The presence piece of it is just a recognition that a large piece of our challenge is that we spend so much of our time unconscious and that we're not present for the choices that we make. And regardless of how well you do with your exercise program and how much you know about nutrition, if you have radical lapses of awareness and presence, you can give back your progress so quickly.